Yep.
Cam, your Uber is arriving now. Hurry yo ass up.
Cruising down the street, backseat of the Uber. My account got free rides cause I keep making new ones. Ox cord on fire cause I'm bumping my newest. Even got my driver turning around like, yo, who is this? Arrived to my destination, plus I made a new fan. Had to give her 5 stars cause I smoked in the van. Drop me off in Pomona cause I got a...
And we are live in the effect. Your boy Maze as always. I got my man Preem with me as always. What's up, Preem?
What up?
Got my man Clee with me as always. What's up, Clee?
What up, what up, what up? Happy Monday.
Yeah, but today, episode 2, I got a very special guest. My brother, the posse god himself, Mr. Cam Gnarly. What's good with you?
What's up, dog? What's poppin'?
I'm good, man. Out here trying to get this podcast cracking. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here
It's
doing my
tight.
thing.
I like it. I like this wave right here.
Yeah, definitely. I did that. Shout out to Aaron, myself for doing that. You mean? I'll finesse that
That's
shit. You
myself for
need
being
that.
myself.
You need that. I got that work, dog. Fuck with me. But what's up with you?
I've been good, man. I just been fucking working. I just got back from Texas. And
Yeah, I just
little
seen that.
South by Southwest run.
How was that?
It was fun. We hung out there for a week. You know, I had adventures. I met artists. I linked up with other artists from other countries and other states. I hung out with bigger artists, and I did drugs. It was
Like you were
good
talking
time.
about, like the Pandora stage. What was the best night that you were there? What was the best event that was there that was popping?
Probably, I went and saw Sunny Digital and Ugly God and who else was there? And Maxo Cream. That night, that show was pretty popular.
Yeah, Ugly God goes off or what?
Yeah, they had him on because he's like a newer artist, so they had him on a different stage. But he pulled everybody from inside to outside, and it was fucking crazy. They love that song "Bitch" and "Water" and fucking some other.
That's what I love. They love that song, bitch.
He got a song called
It's
"Bitch."
fucking 2017. That's
and
my
Water.
fucking single,
Tight.
bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck it. That's what's up. What's up with you, Clee?
Man, chilling, enjoying the day. Trying to be real relaxed right now.
Yeah.
You know, enjoying the vibe. You feel me?
Very relaxed.
Oh yeah. So who all went with you? You, Noah.
It was me, the homie Noah James, his girl Lisa J, and our homie Waju from he's from Ontario originally, but from LA.
Oh hell yeah. I think I
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that shit.
Noah really like his knee was bothering him a couple times, so me and Waju were really like just hanging
Holding
out,
it
hitting
down?
up events. Yeah, hitting up events. We linked up with Lil Flip. Lil Flip gave me the Swisher House T-shirt.
Yeah, I seen that.
Swisher House.
Little flip.
He's fucking tight.
Yeah,
He's really tight.
yeah.
He freestyled and shit like that. Like right after the Cool Kids went on, like he went up and shouted out the Cool Kids
Yeah.
and like did a free freestyle and gave everybody in the crowd free wristbands to his show the next day.
But that's where he's from, though. He's from Houston. He's from, also, obviously not Houston, but he's from Texas,
Yeah.
where they were that independent movement,
Yep.
where they fucking, back in the day, selling out the trunk, already platinum, you mean?
Yep.
Remember
I
we
seen
saw the
Crazy
boss? Remember we saw the
Spokes.
boss? You the,
Oh
you the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
boss.
Look, I wish I would have bumped into him. That would been tight.
Nah, that shit was tight. He was on that Rick Ross album, too, that new one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so some types on there.
Yep.
Tight.
I haven't heard that one. The Rick Ross.
That shit,
I
that shit's
listened to it
pretty
on
cool.
the drive back. It's
It's
pretty
nice.
cool. He's
It's nice.
It's
very
more
graceful.
smooth flow.
Yeah.
The homie DC didn't really like it. He likes that hard shit. He likes that hype shit, but...
I'm not gonna lie. I liked
You don't
it,
like that classic shit.
but Rick
you know?
Ross be lying like a motherfucker though. That's
Hey,
all.
everything's fabricated. Everything's
You know, like,
fabricated
but-
right now.
But he lies so gracefully though.
Yeah,
Like, he
it's-
on the track he'll say some shit that don't make no kind of sense, but it sounds good though.
Yeah.
So I fuck with Rick Ross though.
But no, that was cool. But what about you, though? What's your latest project? What you got going on right now?
Right now I'm still pushing the Positive Prevails EP. Put that out like 6 months ago, and people were still.
That was my shit. I remember
gravitating
I was
to
in
it and fucking
Phoenix
with it.
when you put that shit out,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
called you literally
Yeah.
right after I ran through the whole thing. I was like, dog,
Yeah.
Uber. That's
Yo,
the one. That
people-
was even
yeah.
before the video.
I didn't even honestly. I thought people were gonna sleep on that song.
Nah,
I
that shit sounds
thought
hard.
that was
And then
gonna be
with the
whatever.
fucking cruising.
Yeah, fucking shout out to Disco. He did
Hell
the
yeah.
the scratches.
The scratching,
on that
that's
song,
what you
yeah.
need. That's what's missing a lot too. Those scratching, live instrumentation, like
Yeah.
so.
That DJ
when you hear
Premier.
that primo
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I try to
definitely
bring all
dope.
kind of elements to the project and shit like that. So
Any
we
more
have all
videos
pieces.
from the project you're gonna do?
Yeah, the Uber video's out and that's doing pretty good. Shout out to my homegirl Dro, she's in the visual, and then the Juice video is gonna come out in April.
Okay.
And like I was telling you earlier, I got this deal with this app that's gonna be releasing called Wave, and on this app, I participated in
Now that's on iPhone and Android,
yeah,
right?
it's on
For
iPhone
both?
and Android. I can't really say because it was supposed to come out already, but it hasn't. But I participated in another aspect of the app that's coming out. But within the app in the next coming months, I'll be able to I'll be releasing new content from this app and doing live streams. Like if I had the app right now, I would be live on that too.
Hell yeah.
And then
What's the app called?
it's called Wave.
Wave.
Yeah, WAV. It's dope. It's a really dope platform for finding new artists and myself and Waju and
Fuck yeah.
Verbs. And
That's where it's at.
Gnarly.
People got everything they want in their hand. People
Yeah.
don't want to go to the store. They want to just SoundCloud app,
Yeah.
fucking Apple Music app, Spotify app. So if that's a Wave app, that's a video and the stream or whatever. There it is.
And that's their whole intention too. They want to corner the market. They want to pretty much do everything. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to. Not only do they have the app, but it's also like a record label within itself too. So like say my streams and stuff like that start doing good, I'm pretty sure they'd offer me a deal to
Okay.
sign with them. But
That's the number one thing. You put up numbers, whatever
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
YouTube's cutting you a check or Spotify's hitting you up. Once you put up the numbers, like all right,
and there's really a lot of ways to put numbers on the board. Really these days, like you got to have all your paperwork
Yep.
and stuff together. Like you can monetize everything.
Yeah.
SoundCloud, pay, Apple Music, your YouTube. Like you can get. I get little checks for YouTube stuff like all the time.
Hell yeah.
They do it like every 2 months. So
That's what you need,
just
that-
try to
that
keep,
residual income.
Keep asking them videos. Like
Yep.
it doesn't matter when you do it. Like as soon as you get it registered, you start hyping up your back catalog and stuff like that, making people watch.
now is that
videos.
off a YouTube Red account or is that a YouTube just regular?
That's it's I do it through this company called TuneCore.
Okay.
And on TuneCore they will release all your music on all the major socials, like the music streaming
So
sites.
you go through them so they could do the footwork, so
And
they can
do
put it
yeah,
wherever.
and they'll monetize. You just choose the songs to monetize, and they'll monetize it. And they'll even do it to the point that if your song is in any other thing like that,
Yeah.
like they'll shut that shit down because
yeah.
they want to
Okay.
make sure all your money.
Jay-Z shit.
It's tight though, yeah, it's tight. I'm on Tidal and shit like that. I didn't sign no deal with Jay-Z. I'm on Tidal.
He sold that shit already anyway.
For real.
He sold that shit to Sprint. He's like,
It's
I'm
just a
out.
name.
I'm out. But fuck it. That's what's up though. When you're making music or even like in your upbringing, who's your musical inspirations? I know Preem's a fucking DJ Quick. Me, I'm a big Corrupt or fucking Gangstar. I mean, what was your thing that was like, oh, this is fucking dope. I want to do this.
As a kid, I was a visual artist first. So when I first started listening to music, it was a lot of like R&B because I used to sing in choir after I started
Oh,
drawing.
yeah.
So I was into like R&B. I love like Luther Vandross and I love the Isley Brothers. I love like R. Kelly.
Luther
and
Vandross looking
shit
nigga
like
yourself.
that. Yeah, I am a Luther Vandross type nigga too. Like Nate Dogg. Like
Nate Dogg,
I loved harmonies and I
Hell
loved
yeah.
like good classic
That's music.
90s
It's
R&B.
music, dog.
Yeah,
You want to feel good when you're
Yeah, fucking
playing some
Black
music,
Street
dog.
and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
stuff that my mom and dad were really into in that time. They were really into jazz and a lot of R&B. And then it wasn't until like later in middle school and high school I started
Mm-hmm.
getting into rap and shit like that. I started really fucking with like the Dipset a lot and fucking
Dipset
with
was huge.
Rockefeller especially. So I fucked with everybody from Rockefeller down the line, from Jay-Z to Cam to Beans to Freeway to Freaky and everything in between. But then Kanye was like probably like my champion.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, like
That's
this
what
is
I
my
said. That's
guy.
when I was like, I look like him. I don't gotta fucking be a thug. I want to rock dope shit. I want to
Yeah.
rock fitted. I want to rock the way I want to dress, but I want to spit dope as fuck. I want to be come off hard as fuck. And Kanye has a catalog of some dope ass shit.
Yeah.
where he says
Yeah.
some clean ass shit.
Yeah, I love
Like-
Kanye. I've grown with Kanye
yeah.
since like I was in high school when I was about to say Good Kid, Mad City. I was in high school. Yeah, when the
Yeah,
Dropout
that's the
came
same
out. So
shit.
like, I identify with a lot of those elements. Like
Yeah.
he's discussing like the things you contemplate while you're in school and things like that.
yeah.
Like I connected with that shit a lot. Like it resonated with me a lot. So. And as he grew, I grew,
Definitely.
and he's definitely one of those artists that really like
Progressive.
yeah, every part of his life, he like whatever's going on within his life, he puts it in his music and gives you a real like testimony of like what's going on within him at the time. And I take from that a lot because I try to really capture with every project that I do, like where I'm at mentally.
It's very therapeutic as well. Like
Yeah.
putting it out, holding something in. But as you, all right, this is it. I just got a
Yeah.
heartbreak, 808. I just got dumped. I got caught up, whatever. Put it out there. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, my hands are clean. I can move on to the next chapter of my life. Graduation, boom, I'm fucking out. My Dark Twisted Fantasy. That was an
Yeah, that's a
ensemble
great- yeah,
cast.
that shit was crazy.
Like, so
All
you
the-
can move on once
the
you,
Good Fridays and
you
shit.
wash your hands and did your thing. So that's also a great way to, as an artist for me anyway,
Yeah.
that's fucking great. Write it out.
Yeah, that's
so
how you
that's
do
dope.
it. And you got to conceptualize it though too. You got to like, I feel like it's one thing to make the songs, but when you put the whole package together
Yep.
and set your intentions on like, what is this for? What is the purpose of this? Like, it makes it easier to let that shit go and be like, like okay.
Like a good Kid, Mad City. You saw that movie play out.
Yeah.
As you press
That's
play.
the only
You-
thing
it was
missing.
the
That
whole-
shit needs a movie. It's the only
Yeah,
thing.
but just listen to it was the movie itself.
Yeah.
And even at the end, all right, mom, be back in 15 minutes. And he grabs the keys. Like, that was perfect. It
Yeah.
brought it all full circle. But shit, I remember when I met you, it was on the block, you were selling tickets,
Yeah.
pre-sale tickets. Sean Healy, fuck Sean Healy, by the
yeah,
way.
fuck Sean
They be
Healy.
milking the fuck out of you.
They do, like,
if you ever
college
done a
courses
show with
on
Sean
Sean
Healy,
Healy.
you know, fuck those fools.
Yeah, he's a bad promoter. They do college courses on Sean Haley. For
Yeah,
like upcoming
don't get
artists.
milked. It's called Don't Get Milked.
Yeah,
101.
don't get milked. Rule number 1: don't put yourself in a position.
But
to do
that was I don't know, 6-7 years ago maybe.
Yeah, that was
in the hustle.
Yeah,
but
that was like 2009 probably.
Yeah, but that was like when I first met you. We were at a house party, ciphering and shit.
Yeah.
But when did you realize that this is my path? This is what I want to do. Like everybody, they're made for something.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, it went from like it being a hobby to it being like my soul's purpose. Like
I'm actually good at this.
I think it happened. I don't know. It happened to me like twice. So there's always like those moments of like real like awakening or reassurance. Like, all right, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So the first time was when I was in college, and I could have joined a fraternity with my other homies, but instead I did music, and that's when I started linking up with the hi-hats, and that was the first time I was like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Then the second time was probably around the time that we linked up and we met after like, you know, being so invested in that group at a young age and really not knowing what I wanted from it, but just knowing that it was something that I wanted.
Oh yeah.
Like the next step was, you know, like building and creating with my friends, and probably like in the time that we all did
Formatting
Really
bars, how to
doing
write
everything
this.
we did, like that shit was like training
It was.
for all of the shit.
There's no school course.
No,
There's no. You got to pay for studio time.
Yeah.
I remember both taking buses. You're on the north end of Dino. I was in Colton,
Man.
taking buses, walking the INFs just to get to the studio.
For real, like, and that's that kind of devotion though that we had, and it was nothing. Like we had no excuses, and we just made sure that we went to the studio.
Like this is where I'm supposed to be. I got to get there.
Yeah, it was tight.
Oh yeah.
But definitely those times, it was probably like the first time when I started doing stuff with our hats, and then after like the end of that, going into like when we started doing the amazing music and the
Getting on
Airborne,
stage.
Really, like when all that started coming into place and aligning, like that's when I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like win, lose, or draw. This is where I'm at. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you see, like with the Kaepernick situation, standing up or taking a knee or whatever. And I'm not about to get into sports, but what do you think you want to do with this platform that you have right now? I know you're super positive God, and I'm all about that shit too.
The purpose of it is really just it's for me, and it's for the audience. Like it's for the people who, you know, I live in the world just like everyone else, and we're living in a real divided time.
Yeah.
It's been going that way for the last couple of years, so I think it's important that people have that mentality to maintain a positive mental attitude, because all day, every day,
daily game,
they're trying to trigger you every day. Every day, like something's trying to trigger you and take you from, like, take you out of your character to make you fucking get upset and shit like that, just to piss you off. Like,
just poke
yeah, all the time,
waiting for the reaction.
Yeah, like clickbait,
waiting
you know,
for
every
the
day.
reaction,
But I feel
all
like,
day.
oh man, every time. And I've read what I do. Like I went to that when Frank Ocean did that podcast, and they're like, oh, Jay-Z's on there talking about blah blah blah, and that shit was like 56 seconds. I listened to a 2-hour thing that I wouldn't have listened to otherwise, for a 56-second thing that Complex did a 2-paragraph write-up on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, they got me. Like,
Yeah.
like, so there's, like, that's a neutral example, but there's a lot of stuff that people are doing
to get a reaction.
For us to be divided and shit like that. So it's important for me to not perpetuate those kind of things and try to only put out a positive energy. Like, I talk about shit that's not always positive, but the general theme and the thesis of my music is like, this is all coming from a positive place, like, or maybe it's coming from a negative place, but the intention is for it to rise above it and continue on to a positive place, because, you know, I love all kinds of music, but I know there's kinds of music that necessarily isn't good for your personal well-being. Yeah, like there's a lot of shit that I like that probably isn't good for me.
Like Future, I love Draco, but
bro,
I'm really not popping perks, and I'm really not sipping lean.
And and Future's on the same shit, but I don't want to be an artist who raps about shit that I don't do. Like, I don't want to be an artist who, you know, I got a drug history. I got a history of making music on drugs and shit like that, but I can't always go into the studio and recant on when I used to be on drugs. I'm not on drugs anymore. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about it like that. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not now,
but even going back to that, writing it out, that's a progression of a person that you're partying, doing this, and doing shows on drugs. Now you're spreading the word, doing this. Like, that all changed with music. That's documented now.
Yeah, but at some point you go from recanting on emotions to becoming like a advertisement for these things that you're perpetuating. Like, I got kids and you know, like I tell you, I work with kids and stuff. I got kids singing Molly Percocet and they
Yeah,
don't know shit about
they don't know what it is.
And you might as well be doing free advertising for drug companies and shit because kids think it's cool. Like they don't know shit about Molly or Percocet.
Because he's doing it, I want to do it.
So just because, like, I don't know, there's a thin line between like recanting on emotions and perpetuating like some kind of image.
Yep.
And I don't want my shit to be that way. Like I don't want my music to be in the long run detrimental for you.
Definitely.
Like, now granted, I'm gonna have to tell my truth, and sometimes it's gonna be some shit that might be bad, but I'm not gonna do it in the way that I'm telling. Like, I don't want to glamorize it.
Yeah.
So that's like why my music is about positivity. That's why I do the Posi Waves thing, is because it's important. It's important to me to heal myself and be positive because I've encountered all kinds of negative situations.
Exactly. And that's why I asked that, because where are you from, dog?
San Bernardino, dog. It's fucking dangerous.
Murder capital.
Yeah.
Now the #1 dangerous city in California.
Yeah, yeah.
So to be a light from a dark place, or just not follow in fucking cliches, banging, drug dealing, trapping, like, so that's what I was getting at. That's very important. How's the community? How do you view the community, and where do you think you could go?
The community.
I mean, it's rough. It's
rough. You know, I'm still in the city. I'm not like I should stay out of the way. But you know, I've grown up in the IE and definitely from San Bernardino, and I've seen my friends go from wholesome homies to drug dealers to dead real quick, and it happens all the time. It happens when they're young. It happens when they're adults and shit. Like, eventually, like with your music, what you're asking for will come to you. So how you living is gonna come to you eventually. Somebody's gonna run that. Like, so what I try to do, you know, I think the community right now, there's a large amount of artists, and I'm talking solely on like San Bernardino, between like myself, my homie Noah James, what we do within like the San Bernardino IE area, the homies from Lil World, and all the homies from like Shway Cafe, like they're all unifying. Like everyone's
definitely.
really unifying.
That's
but
how it should be.
It's not necessarily. I feel like there's more work to be done, because in people unifying, they're meeting on a level playing field. But you guys are all linking up together. But the purpose has to be stronger than just the link.
But just even through hip hop, geographically, H-Town, Atlanta, the Bay, when they come out, they come as a wave.
Yeah.
One person busts the door and they're fucking pulling everybody up. So when do you think the IE's gonna do that, man? Or is it ever gonna happen? Or do we gotta stop saying I'm making IE music or I'm from the IE and just make fucking dope shit?
I think you definitely gotta just make dope shit. You don't have to classify it as a region.
Yeah.
But when asked, it's important to represent where you're from,
definitely.
because your dope ass music that has no regional classification is a representation of your of the IE, even if it's not all about it. So I think it's happening though, and I have these conversations with the other artists friends, and there's a large wave of IE artists that are getting like real credibility and real acknowledgement for the work that they're putting in.
Yeah, you see it though.
So
Noah's a big testament to that. I've been doing work in the community for a minute. Yeah. He's the one that put me on my first show at the Compound. So it's like shit. I hit him up, emailed him.
Shout out to Noah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's crazy how shit works out too. I've known Noah since I was a freshman in high school, and we didn't start making music until like a year ago, and we didn't start building really building until like also a year ago. So what's tight about it is, people who have like-mindedness, Noah's on the same mentality of like making sure that it's positive and to make sure that the events that we do, definitely the events that we do and the people that we're around, like we want them to be good, like be good people. Like it's kind of hard to just say that, like, I'm not trying to classify anybody as good or bad, but you want your overall message to be good. So, there's a lot of artists that are on that same tip, who, I support their wave and they support mine, because it's all in the same realm of positivity or good-natured people.
Even your daily circle, the people you associate with, is what you're ultimately going to be doing. Show me who you're with, I'll show you who you are.
True.
My grandma would always say that shit.
It's real.
So if if you want to do good, if you want to make positive music, go to fucking South by Southwest. Get with people that are doing that shit.
Yeah.
Like
you said, attracts like. So, anywhere we go, there's that kind of synchronicity when you bump into people who are just like on the same tip as you.
And it's just a spark.
And that's like getting into like some whole other shit.
But, yeah, definitely.
Like when your energy is on a certain point, certain frequency, you're gonna get.
It radiates. You can see that shit from off the jump.
But there's a lot of artists and within the IE that is bringing light to the IE and shedding a positive light on the IE, so that in the next year or so, like I can only imagine where the scene in itself will be in 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Just based on the stuff that I know I'm doing, stuff that I know Noah's doing, stuff I know that other homies are doing in and out of the IE, but all from the IE originally. Who knows? Like,
Yeah.
It's already going up though. I'm telling you.
Shout out to the IE though. But let's take it back to Cleo over here. How you're talking about this playlist, album versus playlist, what's going on right now with streaming. You want to get into that?
Yeah, so when Drake dropped More Life, they're calling it a playlist. So one of our questions today on the podcast is, what is a playlist?
What do you deem as a playlist worthy,
Yeah.
or what's the actual album?
Yeah, because, my thing is, I feel like they're monetizing what we all know is a mixtape
Yep.
Yeah.
as a playlist. And if now that a playlist can be nominated for Grammy or something
Yep.
like that now,
Then why not the Drought 3 or Dedication 2?
Cushion Orange Juice.
Cushion Orange Juice.
Come on, baby. Like, 50 Cent is the future. Like, these
Guess who's
were
back?
like, especially for hip hop, mixtapes can have more of an impact than an album can
Yeah.
in
True.
a year span.
Yep.
So
Wayne's mixtapes have definitely had more of an impact on me than his
Yeah.
actual albums.
He's the reason why I put out mixtapes, because I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
if I know I could rap, but I ain't got no beats. But if I could rap like him and kill that beat that fucking Wale had,
Yeah.
then why not? That's an avenue for me to do it.
Calling that shit a playlist is a fancy name, a fancy innovative way.
It's
to
a way
say-
not to be urban. It's a way not to be fucking.
Yeah, it's a way to escape from like the norms of an album mixtape. Like now it's a playlist. My next piece of work is not a playlist. It's an art gallery. It's an
Yep.
art gallery. This gallery number 1, gallery number 2,
Yep.
gallery number 3. Like
And
it's
ooh, what's a
inno-
gallery?
yeah.
Let me.
Ooh, yeah.
actually-
Like what's
album playlist gallery. Let's see what
Yeah.
gallery is.
yeah. So it's an interesting way to just make a playlist, and I think low key it's also an interesting way of Drake to just like be able to slide by with having a solo sample song on there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a playlist. It's not my song. It's just a playlist of my favorite songs that I.
What were you about to say, Prince?
It's a cover. No, I was just saying, what do you guys consider a playlist? And I was just saying, I think a playlist is various artists. It's not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to just be one artist.
But Chronic 2001's a playlist then.
That's the album because it has features. It's made. I'm talking about
Their songs,
a-
Explosive is just corrupt.
Yeah, so a playlist is say I'm taking a song from this artist that he put out by himself already, and then I'm gonna put it on my playlist.
yeah, so that's part of like I know back to mixtape culture when mixtape first started, like on the DJ Club, DJ Envy days. The thing that you was trying to get on, you were trying to rip whatever was the tightest Jay-Z beat,
Yep.
whoever beat at the time, and then go up on the slot or whatever. So I see it's kind of reminiscent of that. Like if you follow, Fabulous still puts out mixtapes. A lot of his mixtapes, he
The Summertime, the
yeah,
Soul
he has
Tapes.
like he has the Weekend song. He had the Bryson Tiller. He dropped
Yeah.
a verse on it. He dropped a verse on the Rihanna and stuff like that. So the way that I've always ingested music has been through mixtapes.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where I didn't want to listen to nobody's album because I was so pissed off by albums.
Yeah.
I was like, only the mixtape shit
But,
right now is so tight.
but it wasn't as hard as a mixtape. Yeah, you would say that shit.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Wayne's The Carter 3. I was like, oh, this is a glorified mixtape.
Yeah, Drought 2, like all those, man. Those were
so-
classics. Re-Up Gang
But
series.
in this day and age, I think that just calling it a playlist is a
No,
fancy way.
I think I read the article that you sent. and
Okay.
I think what they were trying to get to was that it's the label putting together a playlist of like various artists, and their main objective was just
To promote the weaker
the new-
artists,
the new
the
artists.
weaker artists
The
on
new
the label.
So it's a playlist. They give it to you as a package.
Yeah.
But it was their point to okay, we're breaking out a new artist, and we're gonna combine this as a playlist because it's not an album.
Yeah.
And it's not a project.
Yeah.
It's a playlist that we put together for you. So I think that's what they were getting at as a playlist because it just really brings it back to us as when we're young. We create a playlist.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just create a fucking playlist.
Yeah,
Right?
you got
Yeah.
your tape, you got this
That's
CD,
what we
you
were talking
play
about
one
yesterday,
song, you put another CD, you got another song. You feel me? So who controls the playlist? So like, if an artist is popping enough, such as Drake,
It's really gonna be a
He could
team.
put the playlist out, right?
It's really gonna be a business team.
Well, yeah. In the case of that, it was Def Jam. So they
Okay.
put out fucking Drake and 2 Chains, and then they have Dave East on the bottom, who
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
dope. But if I don't know who he is, and I'm listening to Drake, I'm listening to 2 Chains, I'm listening to so and so, and I get to Dave East, I'm like, oh, the rest of the shit was tight. I might as well listen to this guy too.
Yeah.
Or what do you know? They got a new fan, so
They're just gonna.
it's a little sneaky promotion, self
But is
promotion.
that what
Yeah.
Drake's doing with that album? Do you think? Like,
I think he maybe. I'm not too.
In some way-
exact
some way or
on
form.
What he said,
Kinda.
but he maybe was like, oh, this
'Cause-
is just. I just put this. I grabbed from my wide range of tracks that I have made.
But Def
And-
Jam put out a CD called a playlist called Direct Deposit. That's on Apple Music, so you get it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the same shit I was talking about. They did that same thing.
So
I
it's
feel
the
like
new-
It's not an artist that puts it out. It's actually the label that puts it out.
Yeah.
And it's just I think it's a business type of strategy
For them to break new people and
break
stuff
new
like that.
people,
Yeah. 'Cause that's what the mixtape or
Well,
like the
the-
DJ
Well,
Clue
back in the
mixtape
day,
back
the
in the
Clue
day,
did- yeah.
they like the label would be sliding them a little money.
Yeah.
To throw somebody up a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. I just see it as like
Oh
kinda
yeah,
like
because
a-
you always want to be on the top
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
It varies from the mixtape because and the playlist because the playlist is solely
Label
the
artists.
label.
Okay,
A
yeah.
mixtape is your own. I'm trying to come up.
Yeah, yeah.
Before it was just like you could see they did mixtapes because they were for free.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get sued for using other people's
Beats or samples.
Yeah. So it was just like I'm not getting no type of money. This is just
Yeah.
for it's a
Self-promotion.
mixtape. Yeah.
I think it's
So
a
that was the
playlist.
main thing about mixtapes.
Yeah.
Now playlists is like they're letting it playlist because that's a term that we can relate to, we can understand.
Do you think people are gonna start like moving with this playlist wave and like start dropping playlists now? That
I
Drake
highly
dropping
doubt
playlists.
it. I mean, like, if it was up to us, like it could be like, oh, the IE playlist.
I think-
where you
It depends on who the artist is. Drake,
Yeah, but I just
he's
mean
always
like a-
pulled.
yeah.
He's always used other people. So
I've been a part of playlists before. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've sent people songs to be added to a playlist. But I mean, like, when an artist is releasing a new project, is he going to approach it like, oh, this is a playlist? Like, I'm going to hit up the homie and be like, yo, I really like that song. Can I put it on my album?
I would
Yeah,
do an album
like-
like that
like-
anyway.
I'll ask you this: are you gonna do a playlist like if you're doing your project?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think it's a artist point of view to say it's more of a business type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna create a playlist.
Yeah.
I'm
Only
not
reason I
gonna
call
label
Drake
my
shit a
stuff a
playlist is because it's like different types of Drakes.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Jamaican Drake, there's London Drake, and there's Latin Drake, and then like regular Drake. Because Drake
And
sounds
then
like,
Drake.
Yeah, there's like, and then there's like Drake, like when he raps for like 4 minutes on like a real like low beat. But that's what it's a playlist of. I feel like it's a playlist of different styles. Like, you know, it starts off with the intro song of like Drake going as hard as he's been
Yep.
going when he was in the off season doing shit with like Future and shit, and then it goes into like a London Drake with like his Boy Better Know People because
Yep.
he's signed to that label in London, and then it goes into like Jamaican Drake when he's doing like the like a-
Madaba rhythm or something like that.
yeah, what's it called? Like a what is this song called? Damn, I can't remember. This is like a name for it, but like when he's doing like the Jamaican type music, and then gets into like the features, like you know with the homies. Then he has that Sampha interlude, that 4422.
Yeah.
Then
The
you get-
Skepta interlude.
Yeah, and then and into the end you get like the typical Drake, like those like soft, like not I
That
don't wanna say
reminiscing,
soft, yeah,
but
that
this- I'm
reminiscing
supposed to be
on
here.
This girl type situation. How you gonna get married and not tell me type shit, and then
Yeah.
and then it goes into
So-
the regular Drake.
So you're saying
Yeah.
that like a Drake drops a playlist, and now that has to be the norm for all of us.
No, I'm not saying it has to be the norm. I'm saying, do you think that
Do you think
artists
that?
will do that? I think.
No, I
they
think you
might.
gotta have the range to do
Yeah,
it
I
though.
think they might.
I think you gotta have the range to do it. I can't see fucking.
I think somebody is on the internet already and has dropped a playlist.
Oh, I'm pretty sure to keep
So
up.
what
But
if-
I don't see Kendrick
so-
dropping a
No,
playlist.
no.
So if a one artist drops a playlist, like it's just himself just being in a wide range of his artistic ability.
I think so. That's my take. But
But-
that's
and
just my
that's-
take
that's
on
not
Drake's
like an
album,
album?
though. Yeah, that's
not
my
what he's
take
trying-
on his album. I know he presented it as a playlist, but my take of the playlist album is that it's just a curation of all these different sounds of you know what is Drake.
playlist album.
It's still an album. Like just because it says playlist
Yeah.
on the front doesn't make it any less of an album. To release his album, he gets the money. It's like he's accredited that the amount of albums he owns owes the label. It's another album. It's called a playlist, but till now,
Either was a dope project.
it's a dope project, man. Like I still just call shit projects. So, like it's a project. You worked on it. You ended it. It's a project.
Yeah.
What else you got over there, Clee?
Man, pretty much. You guys want to go into the Egypt, or you guys want to stay on?
Well, we could talk about from
talk about
like
that.
medical
You guys wanna
marijuana
stay on-
now.
So you guys want to go into that? Or
Yeah,
you
go
wanna
ahead.
into the. So there was a paper that someone wrote, and they did some tests on mummies out of Egypt. So they found two drugs that come from this side of the world, from the west, from what we call west, right? So they found tobacco and they found cocaine. So tobacco comes from, the west, and cocaine comes from like the Andes or something like that. And so they want to know, how does this get into the mummies? If Christopher Columbus was the first person
To travel?
to come over this way, how did these first, world
Because they're trying
drugs
to
mix
block,
and
they're
stuff
trying
like
to
that?
baller block on our fucking history or human
pretty
history
much.
at that.
Yeah.
So let's cite the. Where do you get that from? 'Cause
It's in the group text. If you go in the group text,
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a large margin of information that we don't know about. So this probably just shows that there was more contact with the other side of the world
Yeah.
or the global state at the time.
but still, just to have trading without having to go somewhere else and dominate or colonize, people were just living. All right, I got this, you got
Yeah.
that, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
like
time travel.
like depending on
Or time travel, which we can get into that as well.
It might be. You never know.
Yeah, so depending on who has taught you history or what you've learned on your own and studied and stuff like that, you're gonna have a different mind state. So a lot of studying I have done over the years, I've seen that the Christopher Columbus thing is called isolation theory. That means that there's a bunch of different places, and then at one time they all got together. Or whatever,
All right.
Okay.
So or they call
Or that
it,
the contents were together and they dispersed.
yeah, so or they call it diffusion, right? So the theory is that there was more of a trading network. That's what Preem was talking about. There was something prior to that that's always been working.
All right.
People have always been
Yeah.
trading and stuff like that. So like they said in this article, it says American drugs in ancient Egyptian mummies. They found the cocaine and they found the tobacco. So one of the people that are going against this saying that this they're calling it contamination. Or they're saying that this was introduced during the embalming project.
Yeah. The bombing project or process?
Process. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. So, Pri, you want to say a little bit more on it real quick?
Oh, well, my take on that is just that, the main conflict that they were having was that these plants that they were using weren't really typically found in the region. So they were like, the main question was like, how do they get from where they're from, which was like the South America region, all the way to Egypt, to Central,
In Africa.
And a lot of us have this, we've been taught that Christopher Columbus wasn't trying to discover America, but trying to find a shorter route
Yeah.
to trade, right?
Yeah.
So, like before he even did that, there was no way that we could get to the other place.
Yeah.
They thought that they never knew that this little area existed. Supposedly, like they
Yeah.
were just about to get over to the other, So, it kind of just shows that maybe our history has been a little bit hidden, and that there's been other trade routes. Because we've been we've been alive in this earth way more than we know and been told.
Yeah.
And our history has been told to us just so we could make it sense of it. So they say, oh, they can't do that because look at what they were doing back then. Their science or their way of thinking wasn't that advanced for them to travel from here to there. But we don't really
obviously
know
was.
that. Yeah, obviously it was. Or it could even be like, oh, there was just a smart motherfucker that knew how to grow that shit, like in the area where they were at,
Yeah.
So
Most definitely.
maybe they didn't have to bring the whole plant. Maybe they just brought the seeds over.
Yeah.
And then he learned how to cultivate it here. And then the history, I always thought that it's really catered to making us believe that what we're living is all right. Not a lie, but it's okay because we kind of know.
Yeah,
oh, we know how we got here.
Yeah.
Oh, we know how we grew from that. Oh, we know how. Well, I feel like it's just catered to us so that we could be okay with where we're at.
Yeah, be content.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to even add on to what he was saying, there's a book called "They Came Before Columbus" by Ivan Van Sertima, and he talks about a lot of the history that takes place in like Mexico, Belize, that type of area. So one of the things that he talks about is cotton. Also, they found cotton plants that have supposed to be from one part of the world and is over here. And another thing they found was a horse bones or whatever. And horses are supposed to be from Asia.
Yeah.
And come over here. And then another guy is Barry Fell. He wrote a book called America BC. BC stands for America Before Columbus. And he has a theory that says the reason why that that Mediterranean area, like where Rome and all that is, the reason why they had a Bronze Age was because the copper actually came from America at that time.
Seen a Cuban kilo, I was 15. Dylan Yayo never had my teeth cleaned. Restricted license, but I'm so divisive. I know the snipers and I flow the nicest. Fresher than Groovy Lou at a Coogee shoe. Multiple weapons in my new